and welcome to the final of these cup final previews, and it is the big one. It is the Champions League final. This is huge. This is a massive game. It is Real Madrid's chance to win a 15th Champions League, and it's Dortmund's chance to get a second one in there, and also would be Royce's first. But we're going to go into all the stats and all the know-how of how it can be won by either team, starting with how can Real Madrid win it, and what's their journey been so far this season. So obviously their league position, they won the league quite a few weeks ago, to be fair. Enjoyed a good season in the league and added another trophy to the collection and looking to add another one. Their Copa del Rey didn't go too well, but their league did, with only one loss in the league all season. That's crazy. I know Leverkusen have just done an invincible season, but only one loss all season. Fair play. Real Madrid 29 wins and 8 draws in there too. Not a bad season. The key players, you already know who the key players are. It's Vinny Jr., it's Toni Kroos, it's Bellingham, it's Rodrigo, and it's Modric. That list could have been the whole team, but their players are selected because I think Vinny Jr. is obviously the star man there. Bellingham has been the sensational one this season, helping him through these massive games. Kroos is on the end of his career, same with Modric, and still showing class like fine wine. Obviously this is going to be Kroos' last game for Real Madrid, so it's going to be a big one for him. Their season record though, 40 wins, 12 draws and 2 losses. They only had 2 losses all season, and the other loss was the Copa del Rey. As I said, they got knocked out in the round of 16. That's insane, because it means they've not lost a game in this Champions League, running that 1-0 win versus Union Berlin, 3-2 against Napoli, 2-1 against Braga, 3-0 against Braga, 4-2 against Napoli, and 3-2 against Berlin, winning all their group stage games, and then winning that first knockout game against Leipzig. It got a bit shaky from here though, because they drew the next 4 games. They drew against Leipzig, they drew both games against City, went through on penalties, and then they drew that first game against Bayern Munich. And then it looked like it was going to be all over for him. It looked like it was going to be a 1-0 win to Bayern Munich. And then Joselu came through. Joselu came through with the goods and got Real Madrid into that final with 2 massive goals against Bayern Munich. Thanks to a mistake from Neuer. The Harry Kane curse goes on, but will Bellingham get his hands on the Champions League trophy? I hope so. Right for the Euros. That would be nice. How are Dortmund looking this season? Well, they finished 5th, but usually that would mean absolutely no chance of getting the Champions League for them, but actually they already got Champions League through the league thanks to the new coefficient rules. Dortmund got there thanks to getting to the final. Dortmund got themselves a place in the Champions League for getting to the final of the Champions League. It's weird how football works sometimes, but it does work like that. Leverkusen obviously helping them by getting to the final of the Europa League. But yeah, a massive game here for Dortmund anyway, because they won the trophies. What football's about, winning the trophies. But they've had a poor season, as I said, finishing 5th and losing 7 games in the league, winning 18 and drawing 9. So they only drew 1 more game, but they lost a lot more games than Real Madrid, 6 more games. The key players that you want to talk about are Hummels. Hummels powered them through into this next round of the game against PSG. Brandt, obviously, always been a key player really since he's been at Dortmund. Emre Can, the captain, has to be a key player. Royce, he's the man of the moment. Everyone's got his name on their mouths right now because they want him to win the Champions League before his Dortmund time ends. And then Sancho, who's on loan from Manchester United but has been incredible since joining. However, has it turned the season around? Not too much. 27 wins altogether, 12 draws and 10 losses. 10 losses is a big one there for him. Their road to the final, it looks a bit different because they didn't win their first 2 games, and they got them games against Newcastle, and the games against Newcastle turned their ties around for him, winning both of them, then beating AC Milan as well, getting 11 points altogether in the group stage, only losing 1 game in the group stage, so it's not too bad for them. 1-1 against PSV and then 2-0 against PSV to push them through into this next round. I actually, one of the initial predictions said PSV was going to beat him. So how wrong was I? I think I've said Dortmund would get beat at every single stage of this tournament. Hey, it's kind of saying something, isn't it? I went to the Atletico game there where he got beat. To be fair, I was in the stadium for that game, and what an incredible game it was. But not for Dortmund, obviously, but they turned it around the next game and won 4-2. And then 2 1-0 wins versus PSG, and PSG's Champions League curse still continues, and Mbappe is leaving out the door, so it is not good for their future. But Dortmund make it to a final with Royce in his final season, so it's Royce versus Kroos in their final games for their clubs, their respective clubs there. They've been there for so long. Now on to how the team's going to play, and as I said with all the videos, it's not going to take a quick second here. Just let me just put everyone on the pitch. We're just going to, obviously Real Madrid are these white triangles, and then Dortmund are these yellow dots. I think that can be made pretty obvious. And this is kind of how the teams are going to line up. You're going to see Emre Can sit a lot deeper, and Savic will be more of a runner up the pitch, connecting the ball to Brandt, who Brandt is going to try and create with Fulkrug. And then obviously Adeyemi and Sancho being the ones that are going to be terrorising the fullbacks, Mendy and Carvajal. I think what they do best is if they double up on Carvajal. Carvajal can have a bit of a slip up, but then Rudiger's here just to cover. So it's a bit, if they have Fulkrug taking up Rudiger, then allow Adeyemi and Sancho to terrorise Carvajal a bit, and then maybe terrorise Mendy sometimes as well. I think that is the way to go. Obviously, Julian Brandt's going to have a tough time in that midfield, surrounded by the likes of Valverde, the likes of Camavinga, and the likes of Toni Kroos, who'll be constantly all over him. Savic is going to have to come up and help him a lot, and Emre Can's going to have to use his game mentality and knowledge to try and push up the pitch when he can, but make sure he's not leaving Bellingham too free. And allowing Hummels and Schlotterbeck to cover the defence when they need to, and keeping Ben Sabini and oh my god, it's because he's got a really cool name, that Rice. I can't pronounce his name. I know what I'm trying to say. The right back. To cover Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo and their threats. So allowing them to double up on the defensive side of that. And Emre Can's going to slot into more of a 5-back here. We know he can play centre-back, but he's not going to want to play centre-back. He's got to follow Bellingham. That's got to be his job here. But then you've also got if you follow Bellingham, then the creativity is going to come from these players instead, who are going to get up the pitch very well. Carvajal, who is going to double up on the defenders here. Mendy, who is going to double up, and then they're going to push up, they're going to push high, and they're going to keep Dortmund high up the pitch. But them counter-attacks can happen. Adeyemi and Sancho will kill him on the counter-attack. Brandt as well can pass Fulkrug. Fulkrug being more of a target man to be headed down into Sancho, into Adeyemi, into Brandt over to one of these, and these guys can do the dirty work on the counter-attack, and that's the whole point of Dortmund's game. Terzic has stuck to that this whole season. You actually have seen sometimes them actually go to a back 5 and stick Sewell in the team, but I feel with the way Real Madrid are going to play, they've got to kind of be smart about it and stick with that back 4. The midfield is where this game is going to be won. The midfield is always where a Real Madrid game is going to be won. If you can try and nullify that midfield, that's where Dortmund can win this game. It's just whether they can nullify that midfield. It is a great midfield, and if one of them plays out on a day, then guess what? Modric comes off the bench, and I'm not going to lie, that's a great option to have off the bench. That is an insane option to have off the bench, and that's why I think the winner will be Real Madrid. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win tomorrow's game, because it's a huge game, it's a massive game for football. But that is the end of this video now, guys. I do thank you for watching, and hopefully I see you next time. Cheers, guys. Let's see how it goes on tomorrow. Whew.